Welcome to Centennial Sports TV.
Centennial soccer finally kicks off its regular season.
The York Lions look to pounce on a national title.
And Josh Craig doesn't know soccer, but he found some people who do. Centennial Sports TV starts now.
Hello everyone and welcome to the show. We have a very special show for you this evening.
Absolutely, Mike. And if you couldn't tell by looking around you, we're here to cover the beautiful game.
Tonight's episode is all soccer, baby.
And I couldn't be more excited for it. For one, I don't even have to wear a suit.
And I get to wear my Portugal jersey.
Well, enough about attire and set. Let's get to some action. Well, finally, the Centennial Colts women's soccer season got underway after having their first game postponed due to the college support workers' strike. The girls hosted the Seneca Sting at Birchmount Stadium last Tuesday, hoping to start the 2011 season off on the right foot. Front of the net, but Seneca would just clear it out of harm's way. Later, off a careless Colts turnover, Seneca looks to open up the scoring, but Colts keeper Melissa Kennedy makes the easy save. Seneca pressing again, but Kennedy would come out into the box and break up this crossing attempt to keep the game scoreless. Other way now, and Colts midfielder Kaylee Bisnett shows off her moves as she splits two Sting defenders, but all that would amount to nothing as Centennial's cross would basically trickle right into the Sting's keeper's hands. And who says girls soccer isn't tough? Forget about going for the ball. Sting defender Olivia Ferreira runs right over one of the Colts. No call? And that would spark the Sting as just moments later, Seneca's striker Samantha Perry takes a nice through ball, makes a nifty deke and taps it into the open net to give Seneca the 1-0 lead going into halftime. Now, early in the second half, and Perry is at it again, looking for her second goal of the game, but again, Kennedy would get the best of her, making this wonderful stop. Perry was relentless, however, as her next shot is placed perfectly in the top right corner, giving the Sting a 2-0 lead. And just for good measure, Perry would complete the hat trick, as she would be too much for Centennial to handle. The young Colts fall 3-0 to the Sting in the season opener, but hope to learn from the first game action this year.
This is our first game that we've ever played as a full team, so we have some things to work on, mainly position-wise and knowing how everyone works. So hopefully it'll be up from here.
It was a good overall game. I think we just need to communicate a little bit more, and we have a lot of first-year students, so I think they need to get in the groove of more things more.
Tough one for the girls there. But in the second half of the doubleheader, the boys tried to do what the ladies couldn't in their very own home opener. We'll pick this one up early in the first half. The Colts get an early opportunity as midfielder Adrian Field drives a deep ball right on goal, and Andre Lazar gets enough of it to send it over the bar. Things start to get a little chippy as Seneca defender Claudio Pasco starts to play the role of enforcer, nailing the Colts at will. Look at this guy. He should have devoted his talents to the hockey team. And he gets nailed with the yellow card. On the ensuing free kick, Lazar makes another big save and the ball bounces just out of bounds. Let's jump now to the second half with the game still scoreless. Seneca is going to break past the Colts defense and Desmond Levine finishes the nice touch cross, 1-0 Seneca. That one stings. Seneca, unsatisfied, continues their relentless assault on the Colts as the nice chip pass gets behind the defense and Javon Harrison Stewart battles past two defenders and finishes with the left foot. Pretty goal. That's going to put the Sting up too. Colts, though, would get their chances in this one as Emerson Nagorin gets a wide open look at the onion bag but sails it way high. Then, on what seemed to be an impossible free kick, finds its way on goal, but again Lazar punches the ball out. A final effort for Centennial to have a chance at the end, but the header goes just wide. Colts just can't catch a break. Seneca looking for the exclamation mark, but the Colts clear it off the line, and Seneca takes it 2-0.
At times we didn't play for each other. Times certain little things that we need to do, we just didn't do. And spent a lot of time in the first half trying to find the right midfield combination, and that came back to haunt us in the end.
Yeah, we got a little bit tired, but more than a little bit tired, we got away from our game. A lot of guys were trying to dribble a little bit too much, or, losing the ball and not coming back to fight for it type of thing, and getting carried away, not marking our guys.
From 2 seasons just starting to one that may end up being legendary. The York Lions men's soccer team is still undefeated in the OUA, and I took off earlier this week to find out what kind of pressure they're under while looking to repeat as national champions.
There are those that say that you are not a true champion until you've successfully defended your title. But just ask the members of the 2009 Detroit Red Wings, or former UFC champion Matt Serra, if you're able to track him down these days. And it seems that more often than not, defending a championship is actually more difficult than winning it in the first place.
The York Lions men's soccer team is currently in the midst of an impressive season as they work to defend their national title. But despite the team's early success, they're still a long ways away from reaching their eventual goal.
Although the team is undefeated through 9 games, they know better than to be overconfident. After all, they've been in this seat before. 2 years ago, the Lions were the defending national champs, and they failed to repeat. York, a heavy favorite, was upset by the Western Mustangs in the OUA quarterfinals. The team bounced back last year and won back the Sam Davidson Memorial Trophy for the second time in 3 years. But now the challenge is to do what they couldn't 2 years ago. And they'll have to do it without the core of their defensive front. All-star defenders Jamal Smith and Dominic Antonini both graduated last year. Both Smith and Antonini joined current York players Adrian Penna, Ilya Orlov, and goalkeeper Satiri Varlakostas on Canada's 2011 Summer Universiade team in Shenzhen, China. This experience in the offseason seems to have helped the Lions. Pena, last year's OUA West MVP, has continued his torrid scoring pace from last season. The striker from Woodbridge has 10 goals in 9 games as he draws motivation from the devastating loss 2 years ago.
That experience was one of the toughest soccer experiences we've ever had, to be eliminated in the OUA quarterfinals, something that you definitely do not expect because we expect to be there at nationals every single year.
Varlakostas was also a part of the team that lost 2 years ago to Western. The York keeper has allowed just 4 goals in 9 games this season, but still remembers that loss.
You learn not to take anything for granted. You need to take every game step by step. You can't look ahead of yourself, and you have to really work hard.
Alon Badat, last year's OUA West Rookie of the Year, has also built on a success from last season. He's spotted 7 goals in 8 games.
But the one person who's been at the forefront of every up and down with the Lions over the past few seasons is head coach Carmen Isacco. Coach Isacco's in his 4th season with the Lions, and with 2 national titles already under his belt, his recipe for success is surprisingly simple.
Our goal is ultimately to get better. Well, every roll of the ball is what we talk about, and we take it minute by minute, second by second, and that's where we have to keep our perspective on things, and that's where we have to keep our focus on things.
After going 6-0-3 to start the season, it appears as if the only opponents the Lions need to fear are themselves. After all, they have the talent, they have the coaching, and if they can stay out of their own way this year, they'll have more than just another national title. They'll have themselves a dynasty. Reporting for Centennial Sports TV, I'm Matt Hayes.
Best of luck to the Lions down the stretch. Now we here at CSTV know that not everyone is a soccer fan, so we had our very own coach George Fidel put together a few tips. Hopefully these help you out on the pitch.
Soccer is a sport played by 2.2 million Canadians, and I am here with 3 especially talented ones who are going to show you how to become a better soccer player.
Regardless of your position, you must master the proper passing techniques. For this drill, you'll need 3 pylons and a friend. Standing across each other, pass the ball through the cones with one foot and receive the pass with the other. Switch feet depending on direction. Once you feel comfortable with the first drill, try adding dribbling. Here, you and a partner each dribble with one foot, transfer, and pass with the other through cones. An effective dribble is key to any successful attack.
Stay tuned for more tips later on in the show.
Thanks, Coach George. Now, on September 27th, EA Sports released FIFA 12. England's Wayne Rooney and Ireland's Jack Wilshere graced the cover of the 19th version of the Electronic Arts FIFA series. FIFA promises the game will have higher precision dribbling and boast new pro player intelligence, the next generation of AI opposition. While I have little to no idea what any of that means, I do know it helped Mike and I settle a little debate we were having.
That's right, Matt. Messi or Ronaldo? The two of us couldn't agree on the topic, so we let our FIFA skills do the talking.
There's no doubt in my mind that Cristiano Ronaldo is the best soccer player in the world.
Big question? It's not a big question at all. Lionel Messi. Who's asking this question?
He plays hard, he runs fast. He runs faster than everybody else, I think, and he's so different, they make him play two positions.
Lionel Messi has so much more talent in his left foot than Cristiano Ronaldo has in his entire body in his entire career.
Left foot, right foot, it doesn't matter. If he gets the ball, 9 times out of 10, it's going in the net.
Watch any sort of highlight pack. Anybody can kick a ball hard.
Coming up after the break, we'll have high school soccer highlights aplenty.
The Mustangs prove there's no such thing as an off-season.
And Josh Craig will finally quench his thirst for soccer knowledge.
Can't get enough sports? Why not make it a career? The sports journalism program at Centennial College gives you the foundation to work at a job you'll actually enjoy. Join the list of graduates currently working for the CBC, Rogers Sportsnet, The Score, ESPN, The National Post, and many more. Register today.
Welcome back to the show, folks, and thanks for sticking around. We've got way too much to cover, so let's get right back in it. Take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Mike. Now, there was a ton of action in high school soccer this week, but they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, so let's just dive into it. Decide to try and keep the ball in the air as long as possible, only using their heads. 5, 6, and that game ends and the real game begins. Leaside will get the first scoring chance, but the shot hits the post and the rebound is smothered by the BCI goalie. Minutes later, BCI gets a chance of their own, but the Leaside netminder was having none of it. Then Bears number 13 gets the ball and just misses wide, but he would not be denied moments later as the cross gets through the Leaside D and he deposits possibly the easiest goal he will ever score to give BCI a 1-0 lead. Then in the second half, BCI would keep the pressure on in the second half, but with another chance here, just sailing over the crossbar. Then things started to get a little chippy, as not one, but 2 Leaside players were kicked in the groin within a minute. No calls were made on either play, which enraged the Leaside faithful, and they let the ref know about it. They were getting on him so bad, he refused to do his job until the hecklers left the field. 2 of them obliged, But this guy here went down to the field to really let the ref have it. And there he is, taking his walk of shame around the oval after. There was a game going on, though, and in the dying seconds, Leaside looking for the capitalizer, but the Mud slowed the ball down just enough that the Lancers cannot capitalize. The game would end 1-0, and BCI maintains their top spot, a top Tier 1 South Division standing, while Leaside drops to 0-3.
Harbor Collegiate Junior boys coming off a 3-2 defeat, facing off against Marc Garneau. First half action and the Nate Robinson look-alike Daniel Jackson sprinting through the defense, and his shot is blocked out of bounds. On the ensuing play, Jackson with a nifty pass to Fatah Ali blocked, but Jackson out-hustles the much larger Harbor defender, puts it on net, but Ali again fails to capitalize with a swarm of defenders who push the ball the other way. That's going to lead to a big foot race, but the well-timed tackle nullifies the opportunity. Harbor with the corner kick, but Garneau goalie Makad Hadid, filling in for the injured Talha Hassan, makes the aggressive save. After a foul just outside the box, it's free kick time for Harbor, and the team brings in their specialist. He takes the big approach and picks the corner with Hadid looking on in disbelief. What a shot by the big man. The Cougars suffer the consequences of failing to capitalize early. Harbor takes the 1-0 lead at halftime. Second half now. Harbor looking to add on their early lead in the fight. But the Cougars' defense starts out strong and holds with some quality play in the box. Harbor, undaunted, continues to press. Check out this kid who slips two defenders with some slick footwork before a third comes in and saves the day. The Bengal Tigers, though, would eventually be rewarded as they clean up the juicy rebound into an empty net. Harvard CI takes this one easily, 3-1. Each team now sits at 1-1 in the South region. Earlier this week, the soccer theme of today's CSTV show was finalized. We didn't know Josh Craig had a story fall right into his lap. One of his cousins coaches with some of the best that the Toronto District School Board has to offer right here in our own very backyard.
It's the early hours of a chilly October morning here at Sir Oliver Mowat Collegiate Institute, and the ladies' soccer team is hard at work. Nothing strange about that at face value, until you realize their season won't begin until April.
The soccer program at Mowat has always been strong, and on the heels of 2 remarkable seasons, head coach Lindsay Craig was pleased but not surprised by the zeal of this year's squad.
We won the city championships down at Cherry Beach, which was great for the second year in a row. So it was wonderful to have them win that. They were really excited.
With last year's success spurring them on, the team's less-than-storybook performance at OFSA a year ago has left the Mowat Mustangs wanting more.
Well, we actually played with only 11 players, so no substitutions in OFSA because people were at prom and a lot of injuries. So it was pretty tough.
Grade 10 student Alana Sadri was left to sit on the bench at the 2010 OFSA competition after sustaining an unusual injury.
I was practicing with my dad. We were doing corner kicks, and I kicked it too hard, and the muscle moved on my hip onto it, and it broke it. Well, it fractured it. It happened in May, end of May, and I just started coming back now.
The city champs were halted by injury, not lack of effort. And with this in mind, the recipe for success seems clear.
We started practices last year in September, same thing as this year. We went through the winter just practicing indoors about once a week.
Soccer's great, and we all love coming out early and training before the season actually starts.
Not simply soccer stars, the team is comprised of well-rounded athletes who, despite their love of the beautiful game, must balance their multi-sport practice schedules, a hurdle which Coach Craig is quick to point out.
I think one of the main things that we need to work on is getting everybody out for every single practice. We said that it's not hard to get them out, but because they're so involved in everything else, it's hard to get a full team at every practice. We get bits here and there, so getting everybody out to every practice is our goal for this year.
The Mustangs are well on their way to their next rodeo, taking the bull by the horns and finding time to hone their skills 7 months prior to their first game. Reporting for Centennial Sports TV, I'm Josh Craig.
And kudos to those ladies for getting that early start. And now we're going to drop back in with Coach George to see what else he's got to sharpen our game.
In a sport where one goal can make a difference, I'm going to show you how to make the most of those chances.
free kicks are crucial when looking for an edge during a game. Using cones to simulate a defensive wall, practice shooting while curling the ball into the net. One technique is to angle your foot and strike the ball on the opposite side of where you want it to go. The most pressure a player can face is when a penalty kick is the difference between a win and a loss. Always stay focused and decide where you want to shoot before approaching. Remember, always have confidence and visualize your goal.
I am the coach and these are my tips. I'll see you on the pitch.
Different team, different continent, but it doesn't matter. Thierry Henry is still breaking the hearts of opponents on the soccer pitch. Last Saturday, he put the final blow into Toronto FC's season when he scored the equalizer with 2 minutes remaining in the game. The goal officially eliminated the Reds for the 5th straight season, coming from a brilliant Henry strike as he flipped the ball from his right foot to his left foot and slotted home the shot. Henry sits in second place on the MLS leaderboard with 13 goals, one behind former TFC captain Dwayne De Rosario with 3 games left in the regular season.
In last week's show, we introduced you to the East York Soccer Club and its positive presence in the community over the past 35 years. This week, though, we'll dig a little deeper and discover more about the strong bond between a father and a son that symbolizes the true nature of the club.
Dragan Zagar and his son Theo have spent more than the odd afternoon at the soccer pitch. The sport is a passion in the Zagar household, one Dragan, a former keeper and coach, was eager to share with his son at a young age.
In our family, since we started playing soccer, that's how we talk, soccer, and they've been revolving around the soccer.
I started playing soccer at the age of 4, played a couple of years up with my older brother. My father was the coach, and played in this, started here at East York, and just simply fell in love with the game.
Since 8 years old, he came to me and said, I want to play in goal. I said, okay, for sure. He did a great job. We won the tournament, and that was making him exciting to continue playing goalkeeper.
Playing up, Theo had the unique opportunity of having his father around to guide his development. It's something that helped him reach elite status as a keeper in this country.
He just let me, he gave me my pointers and stuff like that, what I've done wrong, what I did right, the support that way, constructive criticism, but he let me come back. He wasn't a typical parent where, he was always trying to coach you on the sideline.
Theo's road to the pros wasn't paved without adversity, and once again his father's words of wisdom acted as a guiding light.
It was a hard thing to do because, you started it all your life. You were the starting goalie all your life, going through all the way through university, and then come to reality and say and sort of ride the pine, so to speak. And and my father came into play, just said, listen, when the opportunity comes knocking, you got to show what you got.
Playing professionally needs a lot of patience. You might sit on a bench for 6-7 games, but patient, and that's basically what with a patient opportunity came. He started in goal and never came out.
Not only did Theo stay in net, he played 7 seasons with the Lynx, finishing with club records in wins, shutouts, saves, games played, and named the club's most valuable player 3 times. Now, Theo is giving back to the community, offering the same opportunities he once enjoyed.
We've scouted the players throughout the years, from 4 years old all the way to 6, and this is sort of like a select program where we've taken them out of the house league and sort of play against other clubs.
You pass the information to younger people, they can continue developing their own kids and get involved with the team and the club.
Now the club's technical director, Theo works side by side with Dragan, and perhaps one day may take over what his father helped build.
All the members have our kids involved in different, in coaching, refereeing, and in various other positions. And yes, I'll be happy we can take over.
That's something that I would look in the future, just to keep this club as strong as it is now, and carry on the traditions that it has.
Wow, talk about a great father-son bond. Thanks, Giannis. Based on the decor this evening, I suppose it's clear that we here at CSTV love the beautiful game. But we wanted to know how you feel about the original football. So we sent our crew to take to the streets mano a mano.
Hi guys, Josh Craig here in Greektown, asking the people on the street who their favorite soccer player is. Why is soccer more popular overseas than it is here in Canada? And more importantly, settling a debate. Who's the better player, Ronaldo or Messi? What is it about soccer that you like so much?
I just think that the game itself, there's something about the game that it's just so natural.
Do you have a favorite team or a favorite player?
Favorite team, Man United all the way.
Ah, beautiful. Why Man United?
Because they're just the best.
I've been a big fan of Portugal for years.
Actually, I got an open mind on every team.
Olympiacos.
Okay. And why do you support that team?
My favorite team, eh?
My parents are actually from Greece, and they won the European Championship in 2004. So it was, you know what? It was a great moment for the community here.
Why do you think soccer's more popular in a place like Manchester rather than a place like Toronto?
You know what? One time soccer was very popular here.
Very popular.
And then it kind of like went, eh.
How is the fan culture different? Do you feel that hockey fans are as passionate about hockey as soccer fans are, or no?
The hockey fan, you know, it's fantastic to hear, you know.
Who is the better soccer player, in your opinion? Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo?
This is what I'm going to say. I'm going to slightly lean to Cristiano Ronaldo.
I knew you were going to say that. Messi. Yeah.
I'm going to go for the young blood.
Lionel Messi for one reason. Cristiano Ronaldo actually was with Man United, but I have no respect for him because he just follows money.
Well, guys, there you have it. Soccer may never enjoy the popularity that hockey does here in Canada, but the fan culture is alive and well here, at least in East York. And when it comes to the battle of the players, Ronaldo may be pretty, but Messi certainly is popular. I'm Josh Craig. Thanks.
Well, there you have it, Mikey. You may have beat me at FIFA 12, but the people have spoken. Messi all the way.
Well, Matt, you can't win them all, but at least we made it through the show.
We're done already?
Yep. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
See you next week.